suffer. Hello, Rav Dr. Michael Laitman. Hello. Today we have a special lesson about why is there suffering in the world. The lesson is based on an article called The Peace by Bala Sulam. Just a short recap on our previous lessons. We talked about the fact that the wisdom of Kabbalah opens up a new realm of reality to a person. It helps a person change his perception of reality in relation to what happens to him in life. What does it is actually the reforming light, and in order for the light to do it, we need to choose in every given moment the most goal-oriented, purposeful environment that will lead us to it, so that the system will work and a new reality will open up between us. And today, we'd like to talk about a topic which is truly at the essence of this article. He defines his article as an empirical scientific research about the necessity of the work of the Creator. Right? Kabbalah is such a precise science. It is the uttermost science. We live in a certain reality that we perceive only a few percent of it, and even less than that, we understand this reality. So even from the limitedness of our understanding and perception of reality, still we see that reality includes all the laws, forces, relations between them that we understand or don't really understand. We're unfamiliar with the entire accumulation of forces and phenomena, but still, it's all natural sciences. The entire nature is science. And whatever we understand from it, that is our science, our wisdom. And the wisdom of Kabbalah speaks of the generality of reality, about the laws that include the entire reality, including our world as a small part of the entire system, and explains to us the general system of laws. Does this system of laws, does it have some kind of goal? Do we need to come to something? Yes, it is in order for us to come to know the entire system and for us to depict there, discover there, the part that depends on us and that we will correct it. And then what? And then, when we will correct it, then we will see the entire system as good, perfect, whole, and we'll see ourselves differently than we do now. But science sounds like something very cold, people writing down things, doing experiments. We're feeling beings. We love, we hate, we suffer. But if I prepare for myself some kind of chemical substance and swallow it, and as a result I get excited, is that science? Or what is it? Science is to know all the laws of nature that are working, including those working inside of me, and that I'm dependent on these laws. And it's good. It's good for me to know. By it, I can go into good things or bad things or whatever. Look, science. We're living in a system that is revealed to us entirely as a serious system, which you can explore scientifically. And whatever we can reach, we see how much it can improve our life. Look at what's going on today with hurricanes, heat waves, cold waves. Look what's going on in the world. Nature is really falling out of balance. It is also a set of laws, a system of laws that we're unfamiliar with. So what do you do about it? Not to get into it, not to try to make a difference. We see how much man is falling out of balance, how he's inclined towards drugs, different such and such phenomena, from little children to grown-ups. That's good for us to know too, and make it a part of science. Science means that I know the cause and the consequence. And the more I come with this approach, I enter the surrounding nature with this kind of approach, the safer I feel myself. So exactly at this point comes Bala Sulams and gives us a very difficult dilemma. He says, look, let's look at nature. When someone grows up, when a creature, any creature grows up, he grows up in a protected womb, being taken care of. And nature is so wondrous, no one has any idea how life is created altogether. But suppose we look at the process and it's perfect. He had it good there. Yeah, absolutely. A person begins his mature life. Wars, struggles, whoever is stronger, he wins. If you can kill the other, great. If you can't, you turn the other into your slave. Where's the justice? Where's the rationale? And is there some kind of providence governing these things? That's a problem. That if we don't see the order according to which things work, we say there's no order, no science, no nature, no nothing here. But something that happens completely without any laws. It's not that it's without any laws. It's like a child that puts a glass at the edge of the table and it falls. And he doesn't know. He says it fell by itself. He doesn't understand that he caused it, because he doesn't see the cause and consequence. The same with us. We see a very small fraction from the entire picture of nature. And so it seems to us that it happens by itself, for no reason. We're not to blame. We're not even getting into it. What's the connection between myself and a hurricane? There's no connection, but when it hits you, it's unpleasant. Yeah? On the other hand, there are people that are also scientists to a certain extent. Talk about the butterfly effect, that a little butterfly that moves its wings causes changes at the other side of the world. What do they want to say? That the world is really round and that everything affects everyone. Well, the world is round and interconnected, that's fine, but still there's a sense of injustice. First of all, someone created us. I don't know. No one came and told me, I've created you. Please come, tell us. He didn't ask us. And if not, then he governs us in such a way. There are many Holocaust survivors, people with different traumas. They really say, even if he exists, I don't want to have any connection to him after what he did to me. I understand them. I do, but it won't change reality. If I see a part of the picture, then I can only say that, in my opinion, according to my current opinion, I do not understand nature. And if in this nature there is the higher force, I don't understand it. It's beyond me. Maybe he's right, like a child that can't justify his mom that gave him a slap. He says, Mom's bad, he wants to slap her back. He doesn't understand, doesn't grasp it, that there is some kind of a relationship which is much broader in terms of its historic range and height, and who knows. I know just one thing. In the measure to which we go deeper into nature, we discover that it's wise, interconnected between all of its parts, and there is some kind of formula according to which all the parts are in a mutual interconnection and lead us to something. Now, I also don't attribute to the supposed higher force that in nature there is some kind of an upper force from all the forces. I do not attribute to that force my emotions. What is good, what is bad, what is just, what is a lie, I can't. Because if I'm like a little child and even less than that in relation to that higher force, then I justify him or not, it doesn't change my reality. And besides that, I don't understand. So let's first of all understand, and then say, is it okay or not? To say now, I agree, I disagree, I'm in a system that I need to learn. Okay, so the starting point is clear. We don't know if there is or isn't a higher force, and not only that, we also don't understand how nature behaves, acts, or that higher force towards us. True. So going back to the article, Bala Sulam gives 4 possible solutions. The one is that there is no higher force, but everything works according to certain laws, what he calls nature. The second is, he says, there is, but there are 2 forces, one good, one bad, and all different religions and beliefs develop based on that. The third says that there are many such, not just 2 forces, but many gods, one responsible for wealth, one responsible for war, etc., etc. And the last solution, he says, yeah, there is some kind of a higher force that created us, but we're so small in relation to him that he made us and forgot about us. And these are the different solutions that humanity gave throughout 6,000 years. All that's humanity, from its degree, out of its understanding. This is how it needs to rid itself, or to give an answer for its existence. Meaning the human mind cannot reach anything beyond one of these solutions. Look, we can. First of all, we live at the edge of one galaxy out of millions of galaxies. We live on a small planet, Earth, very artificial, that there's none else like it, no matter how much we search. I can't say if it's for better or worse. And we're such that, what do we have from life? That we survive in life like animals. To just survive, have children, and die. And they too have children and will die. And that's how it is generation after generation. And what do we have? How can we raise our head and start seeing and giving grades to this entire system and to the higher force that is above the system? We're led to just a bit go wild in life. But also, it's not important what we talk or don't talk about. It's like children in a kindergarten, the things happening between us. So maybe those saying that there's nature, let's act according to its laws, all right? I wish we'd know the laws of nature. We don't. Were we to know, then would we be so wrong about everything, getting blows from every which direction? Of course not. Were nature revealed to us, we would have lived differently than now. Who'd go into some kind of problem or trouble were he to know this law in advance? Or who would devoid himself of some great achievement, great pleasure, if it were possible? If today he passes by it and doesn't know. So, like we said on our previous talks, our desire is to receive pleasure, and were we to know, we'd immediately go to the best place of pleasure. Right? That's the thing, but we don't know. And we don't understand. What do we need to do? And therefore, from this side and from that side, we suffer. So the next stage is probably where a person says that, instead of trying to understand him and see how will he change or can change, maybe we should see how we can change. No, that he will change, that I leave to people that believe that by their prayers or certain actions that they do, it can change. He can change. But yes, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we do see a method of how to influence the upper force, the generality of nature. What does it mean to influence him? Meaning, how can we, by our behavior, reach a state where, we influence nature. We influence the Creator. Creator and nature in Gematria are one and the same. So if we can, let's do it, because we want to have a better life. Okay, so how do we do it? That's the method already. For this, you need to learn and enter a group that is implementing this method. And then you can gradually also, not immediately, come to know what does it mean to enter the system of nature. And in that system, to start changing ourselves according to that system. So to summarize, we're suffering. We don't understand why. We don't know if there is someone causing us this suffering or not. But for sure, we do not understand all the laws. Because if we would understand them, probably we wouldn't suffer. For sure, our ego wouldn't allow us to do anything that is to our detriment. Now, all the solutions of wanting for something to change doesn't work. It's like little children. We see that things can be good only if we direct ourselves correctly towards it. And here Bala Sulam gives us a formula. He says, look, we live in society, a social life, and in society, for sure, you give and you receive. In terms of receiving, no problem. If someone gives you something, no problem, you receive it. That's your nature. You know what you want to receive. But to give, no one taught us how to give. And I also don't want anyone to teach it. Then how will we know how to give? I don't want to give. Then why learn how to give? Furthermore, how will we want to give? What will cause us to want to give? Right? It's a problem. So that's the question. Therefore, you need great persuasion, gradual. Therefore, you need to come to a group that is engaged in it. And in that group, to gradually see, how do we build this kind of artificial bubble that is entirely giving? Suppose 10 people connecting between them and mutual giving, and what do you get as a result? What do they feel? What can they form between us, generate between them? What will they feel as that force that they're shaping between them and this good mutual attitude toward each other? Does such a thing have the right to exist? What does it add to them? What additional feelings does it give them? You need to realize all of these things in attain, like the wisdom of Kabbalah explains, and gradually. In another article, he says that we have atrophied muscles, that we don't know how to activate them. If there's a muscle that you didn't activate for a long time and you start activating it, the body doesn't want to. It's difficult. How will we start wanting to bestow? Obviously, we want to receive. So the wisdom of Kabbalah explains there are two options. The first is either through blows, whether you want it or not. The blows are painful, and you'll have to do it. That's on the one hand. Or that it's through presents, gifts, persuasion, the shame that you get from society, and society is precious to you, etc. Meaning there are two forces here working on us, the positive and negative forces, but they both act toward the same goal, which is to bring us towards connection, and in the connection we discover the upper force of nature, the force of connection, and if we reveal it, then we can already from it learn about the whole of nature. It's no longer a problem. It's no longer a problem to join the so-called upper force. Meaning the revelation of the upper force is in that we will learn how to perform actions that we don't want to do. Right. Okay, we see that only blows don't work. No, blows don't work at all. Because humanity is getting blows all the time. Right, blows simply shut us down. This is a very long path that also in our life doesn't give anything, but by blows, you can restrict a person from doing bad to others. In the best case, not to do bad to others, not to harm others, but to do good to others. That's impossible through blows. And Baal Sulam elaborates, and you'll see how humanity is frying on a terrible frying pan, really frightening. People who read it for the first time say, how does he use such words? Probably he sees what is expected, what's waiting for us, if we continue on the path that we're on. So only blows don't help. No. What does? There has to be persuasion. Persuasion, long-term, with exercises and a group, with different persuasions between the friends. Not that it comes down from above by some instructor or teacher, etc. Meaning here, there needs to really be very special work. And this is actually something that our forefathers have developed, and this is how they educated the people 3,000 years ago. Before entering the land of Israel on the way from Egypt, throughout 40 years, Moses and his students, they educated the people. They taught them this entire matter. And only after the people were ready to be united as one man and one heart, the nation, as was set before that by Abraham. Then, when this already became the law of existence for all those who came out of Egypt, then they entered the land of Israel. Otherwise, it was impossible to enter. And do you see some analogy between their situation back then, suppose that historic story, and our situation today? Baal Sulam writes that we, after 2,000 years, have also entered the land of Israel. And we've entered, how to say, we're not worthy of it yet. Of course, not worthy yet. But that we're here now, we were given a special period, trial period, conditional, that in this period, and by the way, it's coming to its end. In this period of time, we need to start coming closer to each other, practically, seriously, both as a method and also in terms of the realization itself. And so comes the group of Bnei Baruch that is engaged in it and disseminates as much as possible the entire matter of the unity of the nation. And again, I'm asking about the comparison between the people of Israel that went into Israel then and now. We can't take everyone to the desert now. No, it doesn't matter. We're in the desert even now. As we're here in the land of Israel, we're still in the desert. It's all an allegory. To be in the desert or to be in Israel. There's not such a difference between the Sinai desert and the beaches of Ashkelon or Netanya. It's not about that. We're talking about the inner state of the person and only. That a person feels that he's in the desert, and it's not simple. That is already a good state, because before that, he felt that he's in exile, that he's under his ego, that controls him, under Pharaoh. Right. Then it was much more than we are now. To be in the Egyptian exile, it means to feel that I'm under the ego that controls me. And where are we today? Meaning, we yet need to discover as quickly as possible the state that we're in, that we're under the control of the ego, accept it as an evil rule, the 7 years of hunger, to run away from that governance, control, to the land of Israel. The land of Israel is to reach love, connection, mutual guarantee, the reception of the Torah, that it's all love another as yourself. And then we will discover ourselves in the land of Israel. And in the love another as yourself, there has to be something else, which is higher, because again, we see the examples of the kibbutzes and communism. No, that's obvious. If we're talking about the method of the wisdom of Kabbalah, that teaches how to really connect above the ego. The generation of the kibbutzes, it was a generation that could have connected that way because they acted only out of their desire to connect. But we have no such desire to connect. But we'll have to do it like Abraham. That love covers all crimes. And therefore, it will also be our ego on the one hand, and our desire to connect. And with these two forces, we will be able to go forward, like on two legs. Okay, so again, the ego that's clear, the ego that grows all the time, that's also clear. The desire to connect. How do you take the first step? You know, the situation in the country today. It goes without saying. It doesn't matter. How do we take that very first little step so people will start understanding that there's rationale behind this idea? To explain in different languages, in different ways. We need to explain, what are we doing here? Why? What for? Why did the upper force churn all of reality in such a way that all of a sudden we're here and we came from all parts of the world? And wait, in a few years you'll see what a flow of Jews there will be from the United States. And they really won't want to come out of there, just like Jews in Germany didn't want to leave for the land of Israel, even though that Hitler really wanted to bring them all here, give each of them some kind of compensation. They didn't want to. And look what happened. So I hope that with the Americans it's going to be different, that they'll understand that it's good for them to leave and come here, that there's no other way about it. That's the first stage. So for everyone to come, you need to prepare something for them. They came to settle on this piece of land. They'll come and they'll settle, just like the very first group that came here settled down, the first immigration, the second, etc. That's how it's going to be. What are you going to do? They'll come and settle down here. And what now? We began our entire story from suffering. To settle down means to connect. To settle down in the land of Israel means to connect. And to connect in a state called the land of Israel. Israel, from the words Yashar Kel, meaning to be aimed straight toward the Creator, toward the force of bestowal and love. If this is how we'll settle down as brothers together, then surely we'll succeed in everything, and the nations of the world will help us and bring us on their shoulders, as the prophet Isaiah writes. So the solution for the suffering will eventually come only as a result of us learning how to connect, unite. And the first stage is to connect Jews around the world. Of course, about the others, we don't need to worry so much. They'll understand it themselves. The anti-Semitism towards us will help them quickly understand what's going on with us. And we need to connect the Jews around the world here on this piece of land called the land of Israel. It'll be enough for everyone, because it's according to the spiritual root, right? Meaning this physical land of Israel is according to a certain root. And to take in the 10 tribes, we need to make lots of room. We'll see. Later we'll talk about from the Euphrates to the Nile. In the meantime, what we have is enough. Great. So this sums up today's lesson about the peace article. And we'll continue it on our next lesson, where we'll talk about the transition. between love of the created beings and love of the Creator, which is kind of tricky. We'll get there. Thank you very much, Dr. Laitman, and may we come out of this suffering. We will.